Hello, this is Jay, and welcome to my Nightmare of Progress, aka Dxun Guide / walkthrough. These guides have been requested for a while, but I never had the time or interest to do them before. But it's been so many requests and I receive daily messages about Dxun and gods that I decided that I'm gonna record guides for every single boss in both operations. But I'm gonna mainly go through the group Emerald strat from Failure Guild, which is the group I raid with. And we made our own strats whenever we progged, and of course we try to perfect our strats. And on this guide, I'm only gonna go over those strats, but there are many different ways you can follow to each boss and each operation. But feel free to use whatever method you want, but if you really want to learn our method, you're more than welcome to keep watching our this. So let's get started with that in mind. So the first thing I'm going to show is the map of the flowers in red, because the main thing you need to know, the mechanic, is you need to have the flower buff, the phospholipase corona, which whenever you click the flower, there is going to be a white circle around the flower, which will apply a buff that lasts for 45 seconds that prevents you from getting red venom, which is a buff that goes out every 5 seconds. It's a debuff that goes out every 5 seconds and apply its tax on you. And if you have too many stacks of red venom, you're just gonna die to the damage because it gets unhealable. So with the map, the flowers are always in the same spawn location except for the first one, which can always spawn to the left or the right of the boss. But that shouldn't matter too much, it's only gonna change which direction you're pulling the boss. Let's go into the VOD. You can do different order for flowers, but we have our preference. So I start with pulling the boss, opposite of the flower, and whenever we get a red venom stack, which is the orange debuff, our healer clicks and we get the buff. That's the white circle, we get the buff. Our power attack DPS and mercs, marauders, they like to get one extra stack, get a second stack. Mercs, not mercs, power attacks and marauders, they get an extra stack, so they can, and then they enter on the flower, so they can have one to keep close and personal up. So the first thing is the boss is gonna do a hydrochloric pull, which you wanna drop it away from the group because it's a massive pink circle that is going to make you completely. It's gonna make the flower buff ineffective. It also reduces your damage done, your defenses, and your healing done. That means you're pretty much gonna die on the later run if you get hit by the puddle. So you kind of want your tank to back up. So because the pull snapshots on the tank on whoever has main threat, so you can drop whatever you want. And right after that, the boss is gonna do acidic jet. The acidic jet works like in hard mode. It's a cone, and it removes the. It also removes the DR from the bulls that you're gonna see later, aka the thrashers. It works in hard mode. You can do that, so you pretty much do red's fed for nightmare mode. Also keep in mind that the boss cleaves with autos, and the green debuff you get is festering wounds, and once it hits 30 stacks, it's gonna explode in an AoE damage, and whenever festering wounds expire, it also explodes. And whenever it explodes, it does damage based on the amount of stacks you have. So if you have too many high stacks when you swap, or whenever or if it reaches 30 stacks, it's gonna do massive damage. If it's low stacks, it's not gonna do massive. So as a tank, whenever your festering wounds is going away, you still wanna go away from the group, so you don't explode and risk killing people. We usually swap on the acidic jet for the most part, so we don't get too many festering wounds and have a big explosion. As soon as the boss does acidic jet, we just move to the second flower. But we wait before we click. Also, one thing that involves in our strategy is the assassin tank guard shrouding the power attack tank. I'm gonna show why we do that. as you can see, I exploded the festering wounds. And then I'm waiting for the acidic jet to taunt. And as our flower buff's running off, we click the flower. I know there's gonna be another hydrochloric pull coming soon, so I kind of try to back up and run whenever the cast is starting, because it snapshots on the spot where it started casting. So here, the bow is gonna spawn, but I keep the boss facing the wall because our healers go out to CC the stalker ads. Because if you CC the ads, they're not gonna respawn. But if you keep killing, they're gonna keep respawning. And then we have our power tech tank bringing the bow through the acidic jet. A lot of times I use my shroud there for us both so we can stay on the acidic jet. And at this point we tank swap again because of acidic jet. I got refreshed my festering wounds, but I want to move away before it explodes. So we get to the flower, we click, I run away with festering wounds, I explode. Then acidic jet's happening, but right after that there's gonna be a hydrochloric pulse, so I taunt and I stay far away. So the pole drops on a spot where we're not gonna run. That's an important thing as a tank, is that you want to plan where you run, and whenever they're at CCs next to you, be careful. Also, we prefer to go to the right flower instead of going to the middle, because for us it's more convenient to just click the one on the side and then go to the cave through the middle. And we do the same thing here. Acidic jet, but we don't swap on this one because the other tank is just waiting for the bow, because the bow is going to spawn. So I just keep the boss and I bring it back to where we came from, more or less. So the next hydrochloric pull is going to drop on a spot where the party is not in danger of stepping into. Right after the pull, there is going to be acidic jet. So this is where I use my shroud on the power tech tank, so he can debuff the bow immediately. And he can stand there. I have 24 stacks of festering wounds, so I kind of want to stealth out there, stealth shroud, and use a hard cooldown, and then I take the boss back right after. But first I refresh my flower. So I'll bring the boss to the side. I'm not gonna go instantly into the cave because there's gonna be a pull that's gonna drop. There's gonna be acidic jet and a pull. So acidic jet happens. DPS and whoever has TCs, like in our case the healers and the DPS CC, we keep an eye to do CCs, or if someone breaks we just kill. And the pole dropped and I bring the boss to the cave, and the bow is there waiting for the acidic jet that's going to happen not too long after. I need to be careful to not cleave the flower where the group is going to be standing, because we need to refresh our flower immediately. I'm also at high stacks of festering wound. We also killed an ad there because it's the old ad that came from down there. So whenever the ad came after the CC, we just killed it. So here, there's gonna be another bull that's coming, but this time I'll take the bull. I take the bull, and I'm supposed to try to get that acidic jet with the bow with the acidic jet, and then the pull, we drop a pull, and we keep going. We got out of the cave once that pull drops, and we instantly click the flower. Whoever gets their first clicks, and then in this case the bow is still alive, but usually the bow shouldn't be alive. If the bow is still alive, you want to hit with the next acidic jet. If the bow is not alive, you don't have to deal with this. And if there's any ads that come in, just kill it. Stun and kill, because the ads do massive damage. At this point the boss is already pretty low. We're gonna skip the last flower like we usually do. I'm waiting for the pull to drop and then run. And there's gonna be an acidic jet right after the pull, and we need to click the flower immediately. Currently, I've been bringing the boss right after the acidic jet, and I've been dropping the pull around the area where my mouse is hovering. And then we usually ignore the last bow unless we get with the acidic jet, and we just burn the boss because it shouldn't be an issue if we just burn the boss. If I'm close to hitting 30 stacks of festering wounds, because sometimes I can't reset my debuff by running, I just prepare my shroud. The boss should die on that flower. If you need to go to the other flower, just do. But that should be pretty much it for red. The main thing about red is just be good with stuns and CCs for the ads, and as a tank, you wanna plan where you're gonna place acidic jets and the pulls. And for DPS, you need to be careful to not step into pulls and acidic jet and damage the boss. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed my red walkthrough, and thanks for watching. And I'm gonna come next with the encounters. Once the Dxun is done, I'm gonna make the God's Guide. See ya.